Well, hello everybody. Welcome to and welcome back to my channel, Book Time with Elvis, with me, Mark. And today we're joined on a live by Jim from Mystery Mayhem and Greg from Ghost Readers in the Sky. Hello, gentlemen. And
Hello.
Jim,
Oh,
How's everyone?
sounds like you're waiting for a reply. You mean to us or the people in the
Everybody. How are you guys doing?
hot, man, hot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it's not actually supposed to be that hot. Actually, it's only in the mid-20s, but I think it's the humidity. That's
Well, we
what
got
gets you.
like a heat warning, and they say there's going to be like a heat dome. That's the
Oh yeah,
latest thing is this heat dome they call it now. So, yeah, it's pretty hot outside right now.
yeah. They had
You
one
know what?
over the UK actually just recently. So.
Oh yeah. I don't know
Mm.
if you guys find this, but I mean, things are hotter now than they used to be when we were younger. And it's worldwide now. Like
You know,
when it's hot here, I hear Roy or you or Greg talking about how hot it is there
yeah,
too. You
yeah.
know?
It's not just that. I was saying to someone even this morning that the sun feels hotter. I don't know, like when you were a kid and you were out in the sun, yeah, it was hot. But now it seems like, I don't know, it does seem more, it certainly
Yeah,
seems warmer, I don't know. But,
yeah, yeah.
so we have a few people watching so far. Hello, Aaron's here. Evening all.
Hi,
I
Aaron.
guess what is it? I suppose it's good evening to me, good afternoon to you, Jim, and good morning to you, Greg. Right? So,
whatever,
yeah.
whatever works.
Well, we're certainly spanning the time zones, so that's something, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
which is amazing.
yeah, definitely. Actually, I don't know how far away it is from here. I'm quite curious. Uh, to you, Greg.
You're in Idaho, Greg?
Yeah,
Miles.
Idaho.
It's 5,300 miles. It's quite a distance.
Yeah.
Good afternoon from Boston. Good afternoon.
Claire?
And there we have it. So, gents, well, we have a few people here, so we'll start off like normal, I suppose. Talk a bit about what you've been reading, and then maybe talk a bit about Private Eye July, because of course we're all involved with that. I've been pretty poor with it, but I've been plugging away as best I can, and then we'll just see where we end up. So let's start with you, Greg. How's your reading week been so far?
yeah, and I have been focused on Private Eye July. I finished 2 more PI novels this week and have started a third. So this is my ninth for the month for the event. And I started. This is a reread of Chandler's The Big Sleep. I haven't
Oh
read
yeah,
it
good one.
in quite some time, but it just brings back all of those memories. I know this book pretty well, and I know the differences between the film and the book. And so it's a comfort read, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the annotated version here somewhere. I had to read it a few years ago with Sean, so
I
maybe
do
it was.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it talks down. If it's the same copy I have, that kind of talks down to the reader. There's a couple spots in there where it just they state something obvious, which you didn't have to have that in the annotations. We're not dumb readers.
No, I
You
think
know,
it was hastily put together. So,
I think so too. Yeah.
but then is it in the? I've got that massive Otto Penzler 20th Century Crime. Is it in that as well?
The Big Sleep.
Yeah.
Oh, I have it out in the living room. I'm not
Yeah, I
sure.
have it here. It's too hot to even pick it up, so I'm not going to bother. But I know.
I can go check. I'm gonna go
No,
grab it.
don't worry. It's all right. I'm sure someone will know. If not, it doesn't matter. But I just wondered because that the annotations in that quite good. So I know it's got Charlie Chan. It's got Philo Vance, I think, and then the other two I'm not so sure. So.
If it's the same one I'm thinking of, I don't know if the one I have has
Massive, gigantic. Leslie. Oh, is it Leslie Klinger? Not Otto Penzler.
probably Leslie Klinger. Leslie Klinger does the annotated
Maybe. Yeah.
books.
Yeah, I think it might be Leslie Klinger actually that I'm thinking of. Crime.
I'll take it.
There we go. Yeah, classic American crime fiction from the 1920s. That's one. Yeah, Leslie Klinger. That's the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife brought me this thinking we were talking about this, but that's what you and I were talking about.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about that earlier, weren't we? Yeah. So,
yeah.
No, it's not got that in it. It's got House Without a Key, which is Charlie Chan, the Benson murder case, the Roman hat mystery, Red Harvest, and Little Caesar are in the one I'm thinking of. So,
and that's an annotated collection by Leslie Klinger. Big book.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, it is really, really big. I was amazed. Hang on, I can show it to you without actually having to get up and do it. There we go. Oops. See it there?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it is. See, that's why I was confused because the introduction's Otto Penzler, but Leslie Klinger did the annotations.
Well, Otto Penzler does. He's ubiquitous, man. He's everywhere. Honestly, Otto Penzler. But I do remember seeing that book in the bookstore, and I meant to pick it up, but it just depends on whether you can afford it at the time, and I just couldn't justify the expense at the time. But looks like a nice book. So you have that one?
Yeah, I got it, but I think I got it quite cheaply because I sometimes think while generally English books are expensive here, I think sometimes the shops buy them, and because maybe of course the English reading audience is smaller. I think they sometimes flog them cheaply in sales online. So I didn't pay that much for it at all. I think I paid only something like probably about $15 or something, brand new. So yeah,
that's good. Yeah,
maybe they thought it was too much trouble to send back.
Sorry,
Greg.
Is Penzler still around? I have no idea where.
Oh yeah, he's still
have his bookstore. In New York City. Is that where his bookstore?
Yeah, New York City. Yeah, Tribeca. He's in Tribeca right now. I forget the address offhand, but yeah.
I know he always put together those anthologies of murders or other crimes that take place in his bookstore.
I got the first two. Yeah. I still want him to put together, I think I said in my video, I want him to put together a big book of Private Eyes. I still think that should be done. There's so many, Private Eye short stories out there. I honestly think he could just do a huge book just with Private Eye stories. And I want to see that. I should drop him a note. Say, Otto, here's an idea for you.
What a wonderful way to dedicate your life though to something you love like that. Yeah. I mean, and get paid for it as well. I mean, it's just fantastic. So we'll come back to you in a second, Greg. I just want to go through the comments so I don't fall too far behind. So we've got from Boston, Amir Scooter Ride, not that far. Happy Friday. Hi, Mark. Hi, Greg. Hi, Jim. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Alan.
Amy says, good afternoon from Maine.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Maine. Infinite Text is here. Hello.
Hey, Andrea.
Nice. Dashiell Hammett. The wife must really like you.
I think so.
Is he still making books and anthologies? I guess you already answered that. Private Eye.
What the last one was that he brought out. I don't know if he's still making them. He's still around, but I'm trying to think the last one that he released. I'm pretty sure he's still doing them, but he doesn't just do the anthologies. He does other smaller anthologies, and he's got the what do they call them? The Great American Mystery Classic series, which are released in his store. I've got a couple of them on my shelf, but those are nice. And those are reprints of classic mystery stories. So they're still coming out. So still a very busy guy.
But surely he's not doing all that himself, is he? It's just his name. He probably has people doing a lot of the editing stuff for him now.
I imagine. Like he's had quite the life. I mean, he had a whole library of first edition books, mysteries, and he's like a huge room, and he sold the entire library so he could finance buying another publishing outfit, because he'd had one. He had the Mysterious Press, I think it was called the Mysterious Press, and he sold it, and then he focused on the bookstore. But he had this entire library, and he sold that to buy another publishing outfit to finance it. So he's a busy man, and that was only recently that he did that. He's quite the man. He's led quite a life.
Gosh, I bet that was an interesting library to go through, eh?
Yeah.
Private Eye July has been so fun. Still a week left. Jim, do it. You be that guy to send him a letter telling him what to do.
Yeah, I should.
The Private Eye anthologies. And Lou's here. Hey, y'all.
Hey, Lou. Lou is the one person who bought the Homes is Where the Heart Is shirt.
Ah, well done, Lou.
The one person who bought the shirt, me and Lou.
Well, I should, of course, recommend everybody who's joining us, if you're not already, to head over to Jim's channel, Mystery and Mayhem, and subscribe. And also head over to Greg's channel, Ghost Readers in the Sky, and subscribe to him too. So there we go. So, Greg, you were saying The Big Sleep. What else? Anything else? Or
Yeah, a couple others that I finished this week, and I'll have a weekly wrap up sometime over the weekend. But I read The Thin Man by Dashiell Hammett. That was my. I have not read that one before. I have never read any Nick and Nora Charles.
Yeah.
So I think of all those films, the William Powell and Myrna Loy films, but I'd never read. There's just the one novel, The Thin Man, and then I think there were some short stories. But the film franchise did really well. I think there were 4 or 5 of those, weren't there? Something like that.
Yeah, he did a sequel to The Thin Man 2, Return of the Thin Man. I don't think it was actually released at the time, but I've got that out on my shelf too. I've never actually read that one. What did you think of that story, Greg? The Thin Man.
I liked the plot. It felt like one of the things I was thinking about was you go to the Maltese Falcon and you think about Bridget O'Shaughnessy and how manipulative she is, and how really successfully manipulative she is in the Maltese Falcon. And so Mimi seems to be, it's like if she looked at a role model, her role model would have been Bridget O'Shaughnessy, but she never quite figured it out. I thought the line that Nick Charles has, where she's very silly, but she thinks she's clever, and that's a dangerous combination.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good plot. I liked the plot. I liked especially Nick and Nora together. I thought Nora was a great character and added some nice balance. I was pleased with it. It's not it's not the Maltese Falcon. It's not Red Harvest. It's not I don't put it up there with his best, but I enjoyed it.
I was really hoping you were going to say that in the film that there was an ironic twist and that the Thin Man is played by Sidney Greenstreet, but okay.
William Powell and Myrna Loy did a number of films, and Myrna Loy is from Montana, so just down the road from me. She grew up in Helena, and the Myrna Loy, the house she grew up is. Has a museum, and there's a Myrna Loy Theater in downtown Helena, Montana. And
I tell you, I mean, it might be sacrilegious to say, but I preferred the movies over the book. I didn't get along with The Thin Man at all, and people go on and on about it, and I was so excited to finally get it and read it, and I didn't get along with it at all.
Yeah,
it was frenetic and just all over the place, and it was really hard to follow the plot, what there was of it, and wasn't a fan.
Yeah,
I tried to read The Glass Key too, and I really didn't enjoy The Glass Key very much. But I mean, the Maltese Falcon is just like perfect. It's just such a great story, and of course the Continental Ops stories I love, and Red Harvest, and we were talking about the Dane Curse earlier, Mark, but. he wasn't the be all and end all, Dashiell Hammett, in my in my opinion. But
Yeah, there's definitely a quality difference, and you can tell, or at least I think I can tell from in Thin Man, he's starting with characters like Sam Spade, like Miles Archer, like
in their later incarnate, after they've been married and they've been kind of tamed a little bit, and but I mean, the movies are so much better because the personalities of William Powell and Myrna Loy are just so great. It just carries the movie so much better than I found that the book did.
A couple more comments. What an awesome shirt it is. I guess show us again, Jim. Give us a twirl. There we go. Look at that. There we go. Is it still available to purchase on your channel?
I think so.
There you go.
I don't think I deleted it or anything.
Farah's here. Hi, Farah. Good to see you.
Farah.
And Helen says, I've read Poirot Investigates, Casual Xenophobia, The Maltese Falcon, Casual Womanizing. A is for Alibi, pure nostalgia. It's been great.
Nice. Good.
So The Big Sleep, The Thin Man, and
the first Nero Wolfe novel, For the Lance, I think is how you say it. So I had never read any of Rick Stout's works, and I was very pleasantly surprised with Nero Wolfe. Now you can see there's the direct connection to Sherlock Holmes. It's he's very much in that same mold of I'm gonna stay home, I'm gonna read a bunch of books, I'm gonna learn a lot of things, and then it's so obvious what happened. You can't just look, and there it is. And he comes across with that same kind of bravado that Holmes did as well. So I like that.
Actually, I think it was Sidney Greenstreet played him on the radio, didn't he? Maybe.
Oh, possibly. He would have been the go-to actor back in the day for that kind of role.
Yeah.
I often wonder if Rex Stout, he kind of took the hard-boiled mystery and the kind of Sherlock Holmes kind of mystery, and I wonder if he had that in mind when he created Nero Wolfe, because there's talk that Nero Wolfe was Sherlock Holmes' son, right? Irene Adler and Sherlock Holmes' son. So, but they're great stories, Greg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember, I know part of the reason I stayed away from these for a while is that I watched the William Conrad series that was on just quickly, and it was not very good, shall we say?
Yeah. I never saw it.
I used to like what was the show he did in the 80s? It was Jake and the Fat Man.
Jake and the Fat Man.
Yeah.
And Cannon was great.
Cannon, it was another one.
But Nero Wolfe was it was an experiment that somebody tried, and it just didn't play.
The one in the was it the 90s, early 2000s with Maury Chaykin and Timothy, forget his name now.
Dalton?
Not Dalton, no. He was the son of, forgot his name anyway, but they were pretty good. I think they tried to stay faithful to the stories. Forget the actor's name, though. Sorry, guys.
That's all right.
Bad for names, good for faces.
If only there was some way to look up things like that, and just if it was like just at your fingertips, and you could just access that information.
Luckily, Aaron's here, so he's always good at coming up with this stuff. So Timothy Hutton,
son of Robert Hutton.
I don't know. Historian.
I thought I saw Timothy Hutton's face, and I said Timothy Dalton. It was but
you meant
yes.
Hutton. You meant Hutton.
But but that's funny. Until Aaron put it up there, it's like
he did okay as Archie Goodwin.
Yeah, Jim Hutton.
Jim Hutton. I should know that since my name's Jim. Jim Hutton, yeah. And
Good
he played
help.
Ellery Queen way back in the day. His father, Jim Hutton.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's interesting because Helen says that Irene Adler's one of my all-time favorite characters. I mean, it is
Oh.
amazing when you think how brief her appearance really is. I mean, I suppose, you know, there's the on the page appearance and off the page kind of presence, maybe, but still, it's amazing how, you know, she kind of just gave birth to so much
Yeah. Think about
mythology
what
and
she,
stuff surrounding it.
think about what she did in that story. She outsmarted Sherlock Holmes.
She did.
She was a master of disguise. She did all kinds of things, and that was not normal for back in the day for a woman character to be quite so strong and smart and intelligent as she was.
Yeah.
She's a great character. And the fact that we still talk about her and she's been in so many movies and other stories just from that one little short story that she appeared in. Great character.
Amazing, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
Helen says, I must get Sam Spade #2. Is that the Thin Man? I could Google it, but I'll ask the experts here.
No. There was one, The Maltese Falcon, and then there was, I think, 3 short stories. There was no sequel. There was an unofficial sequel. It was a George Segal movie, but it was played for laughs, and it was called The Black Bird. But it wasn't an official sequel. It was just it was filmed in the 70s, but it had nothing to do with Dashiell Hammett. It was just kind of a knockoff thing. But there was 3 or 5 Sam Spade short stories, if you want to read more Sam Spade.
Yeah, and then didn't Joe Gores did the Spade and
Arch? Yeah.
The prequel much. That was, I don't know, that was not terribly long ago, at least compared to Hammett.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've read the short stories. They're quite good, I think, but it's just hard to beat The Maltese Falcon.
Yeah. It's the epitome of the private eye story.
Super. Anything else, Greg, or is that it for the?
That's been my week. It's been a good one.
Pretty impressive week, yeah. I have to say. I mean, yeah, I'll talk about mine in a bit, but it got me thinking, about another event. The Private Eye July came out of her live, but in some of these things, like if we take Sherlock Holmes, if we take, I guess, Fu Manchu, these things, we haven't really got an event dedicated to the super villain, the arch villain, the rogue of the story. Maybe that's something we could explore in the future.
There you go, Mark. There's one for you to create right there.
Oh, I don't know.
Another live stream. We create another event.
Creating events are over, I think. I can barely do the ones that I've actually started already, but yeah, maybe it's something someone might want to pick up and do. It could be fun. Well, I think Penzler does have a big book of Victorian villains or rogues and whatever, I think, as part of his big book series. So yeah, got a few in there. Oh yeah, sorry, hang on, where I'm good with names but not faces. Mix turned up. Damn it, I missed the start, even though I said a reminder. Hi everyone.
Hey Mick.
Hi Mick.
You name it, you claim it, Mark.
Yeah.
I love a villain, but not in real life. An event featuring baddies, I'd join that. All right, well, I will think on it. There's certainly time to do something about that. So, Jim. I said Jim, not Elvis. Come on.
Hi, Elvis.
Hi, Elvis.
Good boy.
What are you doing?
Good boy, Elvis. There he is. Hello, boy.
What are you doing?
You're okay, Elvis. Relax. You're a good boy.
No, he can hear out the window the other dogs barking out there. So, Jim, I'm going to put myself on mute while you tell us about your amazing reading week.
My reading week. Let's see. I won't tell you the whole month then, but I started the week. I had bought this one in a book haul, and I read it in a day or two. This was a new one to me. David House right now, apparently he's written I think 20 of these. I'd never heard of him before. and this is his character again with the names Mac McKenzie, and set in the Twin Cities, like Minnesota. Really good, really good. Highly recommended. And I've been reading some short stories from Mean Streets. This is the second anthology released by the Private Eye Writers of America, and really good stories in here. Max Allen Collins, Lauren D. Estelman, Stuart N. Kaminsky, Bill Pronzini, but that's a really good book, and I love the short stories. And currently, I'm reading Walking Shadow by Robert B. Parker. And I don't know what number this is, but yeah, I haven't read a Spencer novel for a while, so I thought I'd give that one a go.
I'm actually also halfway through a Spencer novel. So,
oh, which one?
Second one, something child. I remember.
Promised.
God Save the Child.
God Save the Child. Yeah.
Child. I'm not as enamored with these as I am the early ones. I don't know if I may be over Spencer. I don't know.
That's where I was. The first half dozen or so I thought were pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just reread the Godwolf manuscript recently. And those I thought that the early when Hawk was introduced, when Susan was introduced, I thought they just had a really nice collective of people. And then somewhere it just started getting. They
were all new and fresh. Now it's just he's kind of rehashing the same kind of thing, and the same jokes and the same kind of talk between Spencer and Hawk, like the tough guy talk, and it's just been
still writing. He's still alive?
No. There's a new writer doing the Spencer novels, Ace Atkins. Right. Like they're still coming out, but it's not Robert B. Parker doing them. But this one is a Robert B. Parker. But at this point, I'm just I think I'm kind of over the Spencer books for a while.
Yeah. I think I would read some of the early ones again. Like I remember Rachel Wallace being good. There's some, but again, it's that first half dozen or so. I remember trying to read some of the later ones and just. There was one that I started, and it was just like, it was all dialogue, all quips between Spencer and Hawk for 50 pages, and I said, I'm done with this one, and had it, I think it was a library book, so I didn't throw it across the room to destroy a library book, but otherwise I might have.
I've done that before. Some writers, I think they just keep cranking out the books. And I think there's, like, Dennis Lehane was good with his Kinsey and Gennaro series. He stopped it at a certain point. He said, I'm not going to write any more of these. I'm going to wrap it up. I think he did 7 of them. And he said, enough. I'm not going to do more. But some writers, they just keep cranking them out, and they shouldn't. There should be an end point for some of these. Like maybe Mickey Spillane should have stopped after number 6. Because the first 6 were just like so good, just written in such a frenetic, passion, and then after, actually he became a Jehovah's Witness, and then they just were never the same after that point. So like maybe he should have stopped it at 6. Maybe Robert B. Parker should have stopped it at the Catskill Eagle and not written anymore. And now Michael Connelly's still writing the Bosch series, but he's not the main character. It's Ballard and Bosch, and I don't know, like maybe writers have to know when to call it quits.
Yeah,
but
George Pelecanos did a nice job of closing out his.
Oh,
yeah. So I think that it's been done and done effectively. And
I've never read George Pelecanos. So. Is he worth looking into, Greg?
I think so.
Yeah.
So I haven't read. He's got a lot out, and I've just kind of dipped into the various series here and there. But I like his work.
Well, it's like Dan Simmons' PI character. He only did 3 books in the series, and then he said, "Okay, that's all I need. Just 3 books.
Yeah,
That's his story. That's it. I'm going to stop it there."
yeah. Sometimes the sequel, nobody asked for it, and it doesn't need to be written.
Yeah, yeah.
Before you carry on, do we have a few more comments? Elvis has opinions. Gold is putting out woofing for Elvis. Libra Paradisos here. The French crime stories of the early 20th century. Fantomas by Marcel Alain and Pierre Souvestre would be ideal. Fantomas is an evil genius perpetrating terrible crimes, and he is the protagonist. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go for like super evil people. I mean, what's his name? Arsène Lupin is still a baddie, really, isn't he? Who else? Raffles is a baddie. So you can have different scales of criminality, I suppose. Are there enough interesting evil femme fatales in the crime noir genre to have an event based on them? It's from.
I have to look into that.
Yeah.
There's a project for you.
Well, again, doesn't Penzler have a big book of female, or maybe they're detectives though, rather than female baddies? I'm not sure. Lou loves the Bosch series, but stopped reading after the Rene Ballard edition.
Yeah, I dropped off after that too. I've read 1 or 2 of them, and they just weren't grabbing me.
And
then he's got the Lincoln Lawyer series, where Bosch is a character in the Lincoln Lawyer series too, and is a PI in that. So I don't know. Kind of flogging a dead horse, I think.
Mick wants to look it up. So the Fantomas books. So there we have it. So Jim, anything else?
Not for this week. No.
Okay.
No. I've got other books that I did earlier in the month, but yeah, we won't talk about those. How about yourself there, Mark?
Oh, well, actually, I'm rather out of place because for Private Eye July, again, nothing actually this week, but I have been reading. The 2 Private Eye in July that I've got on the go are the one I mentioned, God Save the Child by Parker, and then the second one is, I don't know if you know Robert Goddard. He was a big writer, especially in the 80s and whatnot, and he's got I don't know how long the series is going to be. He's certainly got 2 books published based on, now I guess at first, maybe, I'm not sure if it counts the first book for Private Eye July, but I wanted to read the first book because the second one definitely would. And it's about a Japanese woman who works as an assistant for a Japanese private eye. And there's some crime that took place years ago, or whatever. This guy went missing, and her boss sends her to London, but then her boss gets murdered, and she takes over the business. But I don't know exactly what's happened because I'm only about 10 chapters in or something. So, but it's good. It's good fun. Very nicely written. I like him anyway. And so yeah, those are the 2 Private Eye July I'm doing. In terms of other reading, I'm reading a rather interesting book called Very Bad People, which is a nonfiction. It's about the starting of this NGO called Global Witness, and they go around to trouble spots and they try to hurt regimes and human rights abusers economically. So they did a lot with like the Khmer Rouge's timber industry into Thailand that they were using to finance their war against, the Cambodian government. He's the one who the Global Witness did a lot of things for the Blood Diamonds, and then they made that film with DiCaprio. Yeah, so it's based on their work.
Movie.
Yeah. And currently now we're in Sierra Leone and Liberia, also with the timber industry trying to fault Charles Taylor's regime. So that's one thing. And the other thing I'm currently reading, as I say, I haven't finished anything. I had put this off for a week, but I've gone back to it. And it's The Trader, the Owner, the Slave, Parallel Lives in the Age of Slavery. And so basically it's three biographies. So it follows a slave trader who, his name was John Newton, and he kidnapped Africans from Africa and sent them across the Atlantic, and he was the captain of the ship, or the master of the ships that did it. But then he became very religious, and he ended up writing Amazing Grace, the hymn, and then somehow gets slightly involved in it. Then we have the owner, and this is where I've just finished, or just about to finish the section. And oh my good God, seriously, it's beyond. It's so. It's very reprehensible. It's very brutal. It's also very surprising and very enlightening because, Thomas Thistlewood is his name, and I think he's the only person we've got where we've got actually first-hand account of being a slave owner on a day-to-day basis, and because he writes everything in his diary. I think I mentioned on a live I might have done with Randy or something about this, and he literally documents every sexual encounter he had, both with freed people and enslaved people, right? All the way through, he documents it. He has punishments. It's very weird because he has these punishments he devises for the slaves, but he does it only for some reason in this quite short period. I'm talking something I'm not even going to say on here. I'll tell you afterwards if you really want to know, but I won't say it on here, that are really, really disgusting as well as just abhorrent. And then he stops. He's a huge reader. He has a big library. He's into horticulture and agriculture. And then the description about the lives of the slaves, apart from, of course, the brutality, really surprised me. I didn't really know they had, in Jamaica at least in this time, they basically had weekends off, which surprised me completely.
Yeah.
And some of them have little farms or little small holdings, so at the weekend they go back and work on them. Of course, they have husbands and wives that might be on different plantations because they've been sold, so they travel at the weekends to spend time with them and the kids or whatever. He himself has a common law wife who is a slave on another plantation, and so the owner refuses to sell her to him, but he manages to rent her. And he's with her for over 30 years, even though, of course, he's a serial rapist, of course, as well. But the weird thing is, there is a bond between them because, she does, when he leaves the original plantation where they were together, she gives him a present of a gold ring. She ends up earning quite a lot of money herself through these side businesses that she does. A lot of these slaves did make money. I guess that's how some of them eventually purchased their freedoms. Sometimes the slaves were better off financially than some of the poorer white people who were in Jamaica at the time as well. Even he had to borrow money on a couple of occasions from his own slaves,
Wow.
I'm guessing he paid it back. I don't know. He's also then, he sold, for example, he had a nice hunting rifle. He decided to sell it to one of his slaves. It's beyond, I had no idea. Basically, my knowledge of slavery is down to the abolition of it and Gone with the Wind, basically. No idea about the intricacies of it and the fact how they kind of fed into each other in this really bizarre and horrific way. And I don't have sympathy for these slave owners or anything, but psychologically, it must have taken a huge toll on them. Committing these acts of brutality, but also at the same time, they are living in constant fear because they're so outnumbered by their slaves. They literally don't know every time they go to bed whether they're going to have their throats cut in their sleep and stuff. It is so messed up, but it's absolutely fascinating. So I would recommend it to anybody.
Yeah. And the fact that the slaves were used as chess pieces in the Civil War, the whole thing there with Abraham Lincoln and all that kind of stuff going on, it was all business.
Well, they were being used even in the Revolutionary War as well, both parties and stuff. So, it's just beyond bizarre.
Yeah, it seems we haven't come that far from that.
No, but I really had no idea about the intricacies of the life of the slaves. As I say, I really was surprised to find out that, as I say, they often had weekends off.
Yeah. Which as an employer, if you look at it as an employer, you're going to get more productivity out of your employee if you give them the weekends off. So that's, that just a given, should be a given. You don't want to work your employees 7 days a week, 24/7. Yeah, because then you're not going to get the productivity. So, but it is surprising. It is surprising.
That's the thing, because I was always under the impression that slaves to buy them were not that expensive, which is why they were so brutally treated, because you could just replace them. But he buys 10 slaves, and then for about the same money, he buys, I think, close to 400 acres of farmland for the same price, which is quite a lot of money, really.
Yeah.
And of course, as time goes forward and the move to end slavery takes root, the more slaves coming in, of course, are less. Of course, that is also going to drive up the prices. But it's just beyond anything I've ever imagined about it, to be honest.
If you owned a slave and you wanted to just free your slave and say, okay, you're free now, you couldn't do that. There was a lot more involved to free a slave than just saying, okay, here's your paper, you're free to go. There was a whole bunch of stuff involved in that too, and you'd think it would be an easy thing, but it wasn't.
Well, it's weird, yeah, because he has a son that he affectionately calls Mulatto John, right? And he emancipates his son when he's 2 years old, right? Not immediately, when he's 2 years old. He has a daughter. However, the daughter, because he sends his son to school in England, but he sends his daughter with him as an enslaved servant to look after him.
His own sister.
It's just, honestly,
Wow.
It's so horrible. I shouldn't even be laughing, but it's the absurdity of it all and the weirdness of it all.
Yeah.
I would anyone who has a passing interest in this kind of stuff, I'd definitely recommend this book, because you get these three perspectives, as it were, and three different examples of life in, as he says, these parallel lives in the slave trade, and how they, in some weird way, needed each other. The slaves obviously needed the as awful as it is, their owners in that situation. Of course, without the owners, they wouldn't be in that situation. But when they were plopped there in Jamaica, they did need them, because they wouldn't have been fed or housed or whatever.
Yeah.
And of course, the owners need the slaves to make the money, and it's like a cycle, and it's somehow so interspersed. It's just so bizarre, so bizarre.
A good book you might want to read is 12 Years a Slave. You probably heard of that name. Yeah, they made a movie of it, but the book was really good, and it was a true account. It was his account of his enslavement. And yeah.
It's interesting, the audience we got. It's not a single comment on the book I read. It's still going on.
Like Wednesdays, man, you were just hitting it out of the park comment wise with Randy. You did really well.
Well, I think it's Wednesday. It's not Friday.
It could be. Maybe. But I mean, combined, the three of us don't have the personality that Randy has, though. He draws.
That's true. Randy is larger than life, but
yeah.
But also, maybe it's just not a subject of interest to some people. Of course, this particular one, So we'll go back to the comments about. I
just want to ask you, Mark, what year is that? What's the time frame of that book?
Largely in the 1750s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, because they all intersect. 1750s through to the 1780s and a little bit beyond. So, like John Newton lives, I think he dies 3 days or a week or so after the abolition of the slave trade, not the abolition of slavery, but the abolition of the slave trade. So that's in 1800 something. Gosh, I'm so blind when I have my glasses. I'm saying 1807, yeah. So I don't know if it's 1806 that it goes. I can't remember, but yeah. So it's those days, and it's just I mean, it is. It's fascinating.
Femme fatale and good old fashioned murders.
There we go. Exactly. Yeah. So here we go. Helen's got Femme Fatale February, but that clashes with Homes Where the Heart Is, though.
Yeah. Hey, it's room for everybody. Honestly, There's so many events. I mean, they all overlap anyway. That's awesome. Femme Fatale February. I love it.
Well, there you go, Helen. You need to get on there and get a channel and make.
Could we include comic book Femme Fatales, or does it have to be strictly just books, literary? A lot of Femme Fatales in the comic books, boy.
Yep.
Femme Fatale, Kathleen Turner in Body Heat, and Charlotte Rampling in Farewell, My Lovely to Mind.
Yeah.
It is in Private Eye, but a police detective drama starring Helen Mirren, prime suspect, was excellent. Yes, it was. Mick agrees. Constance is here. Hello.
Hi,
Libra
Constance.
So Mick has read a book. I was introduced to Mirren and Excalibur. Oh yeah, that's a great film. But it was The Cook, The Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover when I began searching for her films like The Long Good Friday. Yeah, that's pretty good. What book? Sorry, I'm late. The book in question, Constance, was this one here, The Trader, The Owner, The Slave, Parallel Lives and the Age of Slavery by James Warren that I was reading. Libra Paddy said 12 Years a Slave is a good film. Too dodgy to comment on, Mark. Yeah. Farah says, great job summing up the book, Mark. Seems like a difficult read for me, but yeah, I would say it's a very difficult read for some people. Well, I mean, for anybody is what I mean, but I mean, somehow some people can kind of just focus on the historical merit rather than necessarily the brutality, I guess, something like that. It's probably like when people read about the Holocaust, isn't it? You know, it's too brutal for some.
Well, it's the kind of thing, like books like that and about the Holocaust and all that should be books that should be read and should be kept in the forefront, you know, because, I mean, we all know what's going on in the States where all that stuff's trying to be repressed right now, you know. So, yeah, they should be read. They should be out there available for people to read.
It's been an interest of mine off and on for the last year or two. I've read a few things relating to it and the whole Enlightenment as well. I mean, the weird thing as well, this Thistlewood was a big Enlightenment reader. You know, he's bringing in new books all the time from London, having them sent out to Jamaica. So how he's marrying this up I mean, he did mellow, as time went on, and the more time, of course, he spent with his wife. But I mean, the mellowing just limited his abuses to like casually, raping workers in the field and beating them, on occasion. That was his mellowing, right? So I guess it got less frequent maybe as he got older. But so I mean, it's so weird. He's so I don't know. It's hard to say. I'm gonna definitely do a video on it when I finish it.
Yeah.
Double Indemnity, Postman Always Rings Twice, Mildred Pierce, Gone Girl, Chinatown, Mulholland Falls. Yeah, definitely. Very interested in Civil War history, Reconstruction, also post-Reconstruction, and civil rights. I'm assuming you mean the American Civil War.
No, I knew what you meant.
Well, I can't.
Double Indemnity in the film. It's Fred McMurray. Was it Barbara Stanwyck?
Fred McMurray and Barbara Stanwyck. Yeah.
Barbara Stanwyck. That's what I was thinking. That's who it was. I haven't seen that film in years. But
oh yeah, it's a good one.
What a great film.
Yeah. Fred
Didn't
McMurray.
have his 3 sons in it though.
Yeah, but I was going to say. Yeah.
It's so weird that My 3 Sons is something probably I haven't thought of in a long time, and twice in conversation it's come up today.
Oh, is that right?
I was speaking to a friend of mine, and they were saying, I'm not going to say it. I don't know. Maybe some people know it, others don't. But I don't blast my family name out there. But there's somebody related to the production on that who has the same family name as me, right? So it was like, that's weird. So yeah,
he's one of those interesting actors who, by the time I saw him, watching, the reruns of My 3 Sons, but then like Flubber and some of the other, Disney things, and then you go back and watch.
He had quite a hard-boiled history, yeah. Him and
oh my goodness,
him and Hugh Beaumont from Leave It to Beaver. Hugh Beaumont played Michael Shane, I think, in a movie. He did a couple of hard-boiled parts early in his career. Hugh Beaumont.
Well, it's actually like June on the Range. I started watching some old Ronald Reagan films, not just Westerns, but some even of his old films. And there was one he did with the Ku Klux Klan, and he was playing like this DA and stuff. And actually, I always thought he was a bad actor. I thought people said that, whether because he was president, like he was a really bad actor or whatever. I actually thought he was all right. In the ones I saw, I quite enjoyed some of his films. There's a great one. I can't remember the name of it. It was really good. I was actually crying when it finished. What is it called? It's got Richard Todd in it as well. Something About My Heart, was it? The Hasty Heart. Yeah. It was a great film. It was really good.
He was actually a very full of character, Ronald Reagan. He was a very, very funny man, a great personality. But the problem is, once he got into office, that's when the Alzheimer's started kicking in. You know, very very soon into his tenure as president, he started going downhill pretty soon after that. But yeah,
But yeah, anyone out there wants a film this weekend? I think you can watch it on what's it called in America? The free one, Tubi.
The
Yeah.
Hasty Heart. What was it called?
A Hasty Heart. Yeah, it's maybe even a good couples film, Jim.
Oh
You
yeah.
and the missus might enjoy that one. Yeah.
Well,
It just follows.
Go ahead, Mark. Sorry.
It just follows this guy. Like they're all in like a jungle hospital after just the wars ended. You know, against the Japanese, and Richard Todd's been blown up, and he doesn't know it yet, but he's only got probably weeks left to live because they had to remove one of his kidneys. But the fact is that was the good one. His other one's packing up anyway, so he's only got a bit of short time. So they tell Ronald Reagan and the other guys in the hut that, like, you know, this guy doesn't have long to live. You know, maybe be his friend. You know, it's just done really well. I really enjoyed it.
It's a tearjerker.
Bit of a tearjerker,
yeah,
but in a good way. In a good way. Sorry, Greg.
I did a springboard off of Private Eye July and looked back at June on the Range and watched James Garner in Support Your Local Sheriff.
Oh yeah, I love those two movies. Support Your Local Gunfighter and Support Your Local Sheriff. Those are great. I love James Garner, man.
I watched it as well, in June. Yeah. But I think I prefer Support Your Local Sheriff, maybe just about. So if I had to choose between the two.
And then I was thinking, you know, James Garner played either the president or the former president with Jack Lemmon in My Fellow Americans.
Brilliant film. It's great fun.
He also played Philip Marlowe. Don't forget.
Right.
In Marlowe.
Right.
Adaptation of The Little Sister. So maybe that's a movie you guys can watch for PI July. I've been meaning to watch that, actually. And that was, without that movie, we wouldn't have the Rockford Files. You know, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, Greg, he's a Democrat president to Jack Lemmon's Republican former president. They're two presidents who have to go out and find the corruption. Of course, you've got, I think Dan Aykroyd is playing the president, and then you've got John Hurt as the idiot vice president in the current regime. It was all just a big fricade.
The thing I remember about that film is when they're talking about "Hail to the Chief."
Yeah.
And James Garner's asking Jack, "Did you ever make up your own words?" Because "Hail to the Chief. He's the chief, and
That's right. And then oh my god. That's funny. Have you seen it, Jim?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. Good movie. He could do anything, James Garner.
What have we got here? Talia and Batman is a fantastic femme fatale. I don't know her.
In the comics, yeah.
One room here is dedicated to World War II. So, books. Yes, American Civil War. Personally, I'm interested in Czech pre-World War II. Okay, interesting. The First Republic, I guess you mean. That's 20 years. Agree, Jim. I know people who downplay slavery in the US and think those enslaved had it good since they were provided for. They can't be reasoned with. No, definitely not. Well, I hope no one misunderstood me. I wasn't for a second suggesting that any of them had it good, believe me. But just that this kind of, as I say, perverse system of mutual survival in some respects. Yeah, it's weird. If you read it, you'll understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not something you can justify, but you know, the political party down there right now is trying to subdue all that kind of history and say, you know, not to get into anything political, but yeah, that's what's going on down there, and you can't forget it.
Well, it's a reprehensible act, but I think that understanding the mindset of people who convince themselves that owning another human being was a just fine thing to do,
Yeah.
understanding that mindset and why they thought that way, and why it took so long to change minds. Some of it you can chalk up just to economics of I'm going to make more money if I own humans, but the people who actually said, this is there's nothing wrong with this. In fact, it's moral, and in fact, we should be taking care of these people as slaves. I mean, I don't understand it, but I think that reading about those people, you don't have to agree with their mindset by any means, but I think understanding it is important because it does have interesting parallels into a lot of things that are happening in the world today.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we see it in World War II. We see it now, even what's happening in the Middle East. Again, this kind of putting people on different planes of or different values, I suppose, or levels of humanity, if you even regard them as human at all. For me, one of the weird kind of what's the word? The weird things of like with the slavery and slave owner, if it's based on race, or you look at them as not necessarily being human or something like that, or dehumanizing them, and yet these men very often, I'm not talking about the casual and serial rapist encounters, but this kind of weird kind of love matches that happens all the way through kind of thing, shows that they don't necessarily believe it, because otherwise they probably wouldn't do it. It's very, very complicated. Very complicated. I don't know. Anyway, Al's influence of ne'er-do-wells using him to do their advantage. Garner rocks the screen. Garner's great. He's always been one of my favorites, definitely.
Yeah, mine too.
You guys are set the weekend. Henry Fonda in Failsafe is my favorite presidential portrayal.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Sing, Greg. Sing. I don't know if you were singing. Were you, Greg?
I was singing "Hail to the Chief" and the.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm the chief, and
yeah. Oh, Randy Ray's here. Hello, gentlemen. Hello.
Hey, Randy.
And Libra Pradis agree. It is important to understand the mindset, put ourselves in the shoes of the slaves and the owners, which is what literature is good at doing.
Well, there's not enough of that going on nowadays. There's not enough people with empathy and walking a mile in somebody else's shoes, and that's what people have to learn how to do.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
definitely. We're definitely lacking empathy and compassion.
More and more.
More and more.
Yeah.
I mean, it does surprise me, seriously. And I don't want to get too political in here, but I'm not going to say in any particular detail, but it does surprise me that a certain country who exists due to certain things that went on 80 years ago, pretty much, can be seen to be doing something that is also terrible. That shocks me. But, there you go. I don't know enough about it to pontificate, so I'm going to leave it at that. So, gentlemen, I probably will have to go fairly soon, but I would like at least to ask you if you have any up and coming books that you plan to read, or any other reading plans or events or anything coming up soon. Because we've only got one last week of Private Eye July. So
yeah. Well, I've been.
Sorry, Jim. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but there's an actual question for Greg here. So, do you have a large collection of cowboy poetry books? I was unaware of it as a specific genre until recently.
Yeah.
Came up before, I think.
Well, let me just pull what's here on my side table. So I have a couple of anthologies here. This one, Cowboy Poetry, and this is also called Cowboy Poetry and Anthology. Both of these put together by the Western Folklife Center, which is in Elko, Nevada, which is where they host the National Cowboy Poetry Gathering every January. And so these are anthologies, and I think they put out, well, because I think this was think this year was the 45th year of the gathering, and so they have quite a few analogies that have been put together, and so I think those are always a great place to start because they cover from the earliest days of people like Charles Badger Clark and Omar Barker, all the way up through some of these brand new, fairly young people who are writing cowboy poetry. And then this is another great writer, Bruce Cadden. I did his I recited his poem, The Lost Flannans, just recently, and that's a book that he wrote. So some of it, and you can find some things out on Project Gutenberg, some of the older things, Charles Badger Clark's Sun and Saddle. I forget what it's called exactly, but that's out on Project Gutenberg. But the anthologies that the Western Folk Life Center puts together, I think, are just a great place to start. And that's that gathering is worth going to. I've been quite a few times. Poetry and music, and just a really nice mix of Western culture.
And did you submit or perform any of your own poetry or music?
I have not. I wrote a cowboy poem years ago, and I can't find where I've written it down, and I can remember a lot of it, but I can't remember all of it. And I've kind of been trying to reconstruct it so I can. The name of the poem, though, just to whet your appetite, this damned old ponytail.
Mm-hmm. Damned old ponytail. Mm-hmm. Michael Donatier's verse novel about Billy the Kid was very good. So, agreed, Mark. It's not political, it's ethics and morality. Politics come after ethics and morality, I think. I'm no Socrates or Aristotle or even Steve Donahue.
I thought it was Socrates.
Sorry?
I thought it was Socrates. That's what I learned in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, Socrates, yeah, and Beethoven.
Yeah.
Beethoven.
That's a great document.
Okay. So, Jim, what were you going to say, if you remember?
I wasn't going to say anything, I don't think.
Yeah, before Mick's question, you were going to say something. You were talking about what's up and coming, or...
Oh.
And I interrupted you and said, hold on, there's a question for Greg. See, this is the problem. When you get three men of a certain age, you interrupt them mid-flow. That's it. It's gone. It's gone forever.
Great memory, but it's short. No upcoming. Just finish off PI July, and I've got nothing planned for next week, I guess, or next month. I'll probably read some Garbagas stuff and maybe do some Garbagas videos. But I've been lacking doing videos this month. I haven't done as many as I wanted to, because there's just been other stuff going on. But yeah, I'll have to get a couple videos up before July's over.
You should host a PI July wrap-up party. A live.
I'm not good hosting lives, Mark. I tried that. I tried that with us, with our group, but I wasn't good with hosting lives. I'd rather just come in and talk to you guys and chat, and But I don't know. Maybe it's worth looking into. Maybe.
Well, I could host it if you want, but still, I quite enjoy it, frankly.
Well, sure. If you'd want to, yeah, that would be great. I think it would be fun. Get a whole bunch of people on. I mean, everybody who's done this, I'm so thankful that everybody just jumped in. And Greg's been doing great videos, and Alan, and just Andrea did some, and
it's quite an active chat.
It's been great. I'm so thankful for everybody, and thank you for jumping in. It was short notice, but I think everybody, it's just something that's loved. Private eye stories. Everybody loves private eye stories if they're into mysteries, and it's done well. So I'm thankful for that. Definitely. So anybody who asks, I will be doing it next year. We will be carrying on with it. because I know
Fantastic.
people keep asking, and I
And
fully
Greg,
intend,
sorry, Jim. You fully
no
intend?
fully intend to keep on with it.
Great.
So there's always a little delay sometimes, so it's never sure exactly when you're finished speaking. So apologies.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Greg, you have any plans for the last week of Private Eye July or anything else as we head into a new week?
Yeah, I'll read this Raymond Chandler, read The Big Sleep, and then see if there's still some time. And then the only thing I have planned in August, I just want a free for all August because I have been, after doing Gene on the Range and Private Eye July and really focusing on a particular genre, I'm ready to just go with absolutely whatever I feel like. But I am going to join in with the T.S. Eliot read along. So during August, the first week, we're reading the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock. The second and third week, The Wasteland, and the final week, 4 quartets in Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats. So I think that will be really enjoyable. I like the way Eliot uses words. I don't always appreciate his. I mean, he's a modernist, and that thinking sometimes is just it doesn't quite resonate with me. Hey, let's look back to Shakespeare and Dante and the Bible, and there's really nothing else that is of use to us. Ezra Pound has some of that as well, and I know that I'm simplifying, but I love the way Eliot uses words, and so I think it's going to be a really fun conversation.
I think Roy's doing that, right? Roy reads anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Roy and Dr. Jenny are both doing it.
Roy's doing some great stuff too for Private Eye July. Sorry, I meant to thank him. He's been doing just like a bang up job on Private Eye July videos.
Yes.
He's such a great channel. But yeah. And he did a T.S. Eliot video, which was nice. Almost talked me into doing T.S. Eliot, and I'm not into that stuff, but almost talked me into it. What about movies? You guys planning on watching Superman? Or is that
I had the opportunity, but I missed out. So I don't know. I'll probably just wait now till it comes out.
Do you have a theater near you, Mark?
Yeah, I have one in the next town to me, but it's not always that easy. Especially, I don't even know if it's still there. It might be. I mean, because it's a small town, so they tend to they don't have multi screens. Yeah, so. But I've heard good things about it, and I mean, I love Superman.
Me too.
I'm not big on the comics or anything, but I did grow up, of course, with Christopher Reeve, and Superman 2 is my favorite of all the Superman films.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it's so awesome. I mean, with General Zod.
Oh, I agree.
The whole, kneel before, take my hand, kneel before Zod. He crushes his bones and picks him up. Oh, it's pretty. It's the best, one of my best moments in film.
And what a great actor for that part.
Yeah, well, Terrence Stamp. Yeah.
Just those two movies, I think, are there's so many superhero movies now, but those first two Superman movies, that the best superhero movies ever, bar none.
Well, it was interesting watching some guy. If I can dig it out, I'll send it to you. But some guy, I think he's just a normal YouTuber. He hasn't got a huge number of followings, but he did a really nice Richard Lester versus Richard Donner thing. Yeah, and of course, I guess I maybe knew, but they were shot together, and then Donner was sacked, and apparently Superman flying around the world in Superman 1 was the ending for Superman 2. That was meant to be the ending for Superman 2. And there's all sorts of little things in there. It's very interesting. And there's a really nice bit in it, because if you remember in Superman 2, they're investigating this honeymoon scandal, and Clark trips over the rug, and he puts his hand in the fire, and Lois is like, oh my god, and he's like, there's nothing there, and then he confesses to being Superman. But in the original idea with Richard Donner, and they did a screen test for it, so it's available. You can watch it. He has Lois sitting there doing her makeup, and she's saying something or other about, maybe he's Superman or this. He's like joking, and she pulls out a gun, And he's like, he's Clark Kent. He's like, Lois, don't do it. Bang. And then, of course, he's like, nothing happens. So he's like, gets very serious. And he's like, you realize if you'd been wrong, Clark Kent would be dead. And she goes, with blanks, and completely tricked him into it. It was brilliant. It was so well done. I was like, oh my God, that would be great in the film. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That was Richard Donner.
That was Richard Donner's bit that he shot as like a kind of screen test with Kidder and what's it. And I think they put it into the film, the Donner cut, because there's a Donner cut of Superman 2 you can watch. But other things are weird. So like having this kind of ending and stuff didn't work out, because when he turns back time, he also goes back to the diner and beats up that guy. But of course, if he turned back time, the guy wouldn't have known why he was there to beat him up, this kind of stuff. So
but time travel is a tricky thing.
A
lot of people don't like that he did that around the world to set the time back. But it was like dramatically, it was like just incredible. It was such a great part of the film.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen Richard Donner finish off the second film. He had his whole view, his whole plan, and it just would have been nice, that if they had let him finish.
Because they had to reshoot a lot of the scenes, right? And Gene Hackman refused it. So at various points, it's not Gene Hackman's voice. It's some other actor pretending to be Gene Hackman.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll look up the video and see if I can send it to you guys. I'll send it to the group. It's really interesting. The guy put loads of effort into making it, and it's very, very well done. We just have a couple of comments.
I was just on the Superman, and I think it's the second one where they hear the broadcast from Houston, and so they land in Houston, Idaho.
Yeah.
Which is it's a community that really doesn't exist anymore. In fact, I know that the couple that lives in Houston, and it's spelled differently, just with an Huston. But we loved that they came to Houston, Idaho, even though the town had nothing to do with.
I just like the way you said you knew the couple who live in Houston.
I know the couple who live in Houston. Yeah,
there's only one couple that live there.
Pretty much. There are farms around, but at the old, what was as close to a town site. The only thing that's left is the old school, and I know the couple that bought and renovated that school and lives there. So yeah, I think I know the entire population of Houston.
So many great videos for PI July. Roy Reed, Kevin Tarr reads the great info. So many channels.
I can't believe I forgot Roy. Roy actually has been doing, like, no offense to anybody, but he goes just full tilt. Like when he has a theme, he just goes, full on. Roy, he does such a great job with his videos. I've been enjoying them so much. Now I'm kind of sad it's over. Because now he's already on to Garbagus. There's going to be no more PI July videos from Roy, unfortunately.
Well, it's still a week.
Yeah, maybe he'll do a wrap up or something. But man, he's so good.
I find the Wasteland and the Four Quartets beautifully painful. The undercurrent of emotion I feel when I read is wonderful. Seeing Fantastic Four tonight.
Yeah.
Great, really well written. Donner's Superman is a masterpiece. Fantastic Four is great too. I find it interesting when films are filmed back to back. Back to the Future was the same.
Yeah.
That's an awesome Lois scene that would have worked. Yeah. It would have been great. Definitely.
That would have been. Yeah.
So well done. So well delivered. I was like, damn it, that would have been really good in there. Yeah. So just better than just tripping over a tiger skin rug or whatever it is. But there were positives and negatives. To be fair, there were positives and negatives from both. It's all very well saying it. Donner would have done the better film, but his ending sucked. In all honesty, the idea of it, because it just made everything make no sense. So so we'll see. Whereas probably Lester's one was a better ending, but I might have to go and watch that tonight or something. Actually,
I've been meaning to watch them. Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I can't believe nobody's talking about the Richard Pryor film.
Well, better left unsaid. We actually might. Well, we were talking about going to see the new movie tonight, but I'm not sure if we will. But
Go! And if you don't go, watch Hasty Heart. You see, there you go.
yeah.
You could watch the new blockbusting Superman, or alternatively, Ronald Reagan in a long forgotten B movie.
Yeah.
So, gentlemen, I think we'll pack up there unless you've got anything else to add.
I don't think so.
Been great.
Wonderful. Jim, go. I don't know if he's telling you to F off right now or to go and watch Superman. Either way.
Yeah. We have to see it soon, I think. See, the thing is with our hours, like she works kind of odd hours and I work odd hours, so it's hard to find a day where we both can kind of go to the theater. And we haven't been to the theater.
Go lunchtime. Go now.
Yeah, we could when we're done here. We'll see.
Super. Last thing here from Leroy Paddy. So James Gunn said he was influenced by the film Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice when he was writing Superman. So. Oh yes, definitely. I want to see the new Naked Gun too.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your comments. Thank you to Greg and Jim for joining me. Hopefully we'll be back soon. I can't commit to it every week, but certainly we can see when everybody else is free again. So do take care. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy reading. All the best. Bye from us.